Welcome to the next module. In this module, we will be studying about Arctic Expedition Part 2. Fridtjof Nansen is a renowned scientist, polar explorer, diplomat and humanitarian and made groundbreaking contribution to Arctic exploration. Earning his PhD in zoology in 1888, Nansen became the first person to cross Greenland's inland ice the same year. His innovative methods and leadership in Arctic exploration garnered him significant recognition. In 1922, he was awarded the Nobel Prize for his humanitarian efforts, particularly in securing peace during Norway's dissolution from Sweden and his advocacy for displaced persons after World War I. Nansen's 1888 crossing of Greenland is documented in the First Crossing of Greenland. He highlights the critical role of leadership in expeditions, noting that the success or failure of a mission often rests on the leader's shoulder regardless of the collective effort. For his Greenland crossing, he had developed several contingency plans for the expedition, anticipating different scenarios based on the unpredictable Arctic environment. These plans include traveling by ski, sledge, snowshoes, or even balloons, an innovative approach for that time. The expedition encountered challenges early in the ice-covered waters hindered by the ship's progress. Nansen was supposed to start from 66 degrees north for this expedition, and he wanted to reach the Disko Bay, that is the Greenland crossing he had actually planned, but due to the reason he could not reach the shore from the ship, he has to abandon starting from 66 degrees north. But during the course, what happened was his ship was drifted southwards, and he finally decided he doesn't want to go any further, and he stopped at 62 degrees north, and then he just reached the shore and he followed the shore, and then he crossed the Greenland through this route, and he reached this part at 66 degrees north in the western part of Greenland. Let us look at the Nansen's team for Greenland crossing. See, he assembled a diverse team with specialized skills, including experienced navigator, skilled skiers, and a meteorologist. He also included a peasant, and he included two local guides, Janssen and Ravana, whose knowledge of the Arctic terrain and weather was invaluable for his travel. He put various conditions for the Greenland expedition. Nansen sought physically fit and adaptable individuals for his team. He recruited unmarried men aged 30 to 40 to reduce personal distractions and ensure that team members were in peak physical conditions. Nansen also communicated the risk of the expedition, fostering a sense of commitment and responsibility among his crew. Here are the checklists created by Nansen. His comprehensive checklist encompassed everything from supplies and equipment to clothing, reflecting a thoughtfulness that would serve him and his team well. He selected a lighter, more maneuverable ship to navigate the ice and carefully planned the use of sledges, dogs, and reindeer for transport. His attention to detail in logistical planning ensured the expedition's efficiency and success. Here are some of the important things what he had carried out. For the Fram ship, 2 points he had considered very important. The shape of the hull be such as to offer as small a vulnerable target as possible to the attack of the ice. The second one, it be built so solidly as to be able to withstand the greatest possible pressure from without in any direction whatsoever. So these are all the two major things. That means the Arctic expedition is going to face lots of ice. So the crushing ice has to be somehow managed if he has to be successful. So he made the ship in such a way that it has a large U-shaped bottom. He called Colin Archer, a Norwegian naval architect, for the building of this particular ship. See, he used a round hull ship, that is egg-shaped bottom, to escape the crushing by ice, and he also used various tools to study meteorological, astronomical, magnetic, hygrographic observations, and he also used spectroscopes. The indigenous farm expedition included, the ship was unusually wide and unusually shallow, that means there was no keel, in order to better withstand the forces of pressing ice. So that here you can see the wide unusually wide ship can be seen from here, this side. The rudder and the propeller were designed to be retracted so that they will not be affected by the ice. The ship also included a windmill for the generation of electric power. So these are all the advanced things he had included in the ship. So for the success of his process, what was important? The tool, equipment, or the toolsman. So during that time, he decided that for the travel and expedition, the tools are as important as the toolsman. So that's the reason he focused too much on the ship, so that that is the main tool which is going to take them to all the places for the exploration. So it was built so nicely and so robustly that not only it helped him travel in the North Pole, it also went in the South Pole up to 78 degree 41 minute south. And during those time, it had traveled around 54,000 nautical mile, which is a great achievement for any of the ships built in those days. And he also used many self-registering instrument during the expedition. This will reduce human fatigue, error, and it will be highly consistent. So what are the plans he had for the expedition? Nansen's equipment choices were crucial to the expedition's survival. He meticulously planned food storage, clothing, and gear to protect the team from the harsh Arctic climate. His strategic selection of supplies and animals for transport ensured that the team could navigate the unforgiving environment effectively. So the critical element of Nansen's preparation was ensuring his team had lightweight, high-energy food that could sustain them for long periods in the Arctic harsh environment. By prioritizing compact and efficient nutrition, Nansen minimized the burden of carrying excessive weight while maximizing energy for the journey. Nansen also revolutionized the design of sledges used in the Arctic exploration. The traditional sledges were often too heavy and cumbersome, making it difficult to travel in the ice. Nansen modified the sledge runners to be narrower, improving mobility, especially in slushy conditions where heavier sledge would get stuck. Additionally, he replaced the traditional wooden runners with steel plates, which helped reduce the friction and increase the efficiency. Nansen also drew inspiration from Japanese carpentry called kanawatsugi. By avoiding nails in the construction to minimize corrosion, an important consideration in the freezing Arctic conditions where metal could rust very quickly. These innovations were vital for the success of his expeditions, allowing his team to traverse vast stretches of ice with fewer setbacks. In addition to that, Nansen carefully selected clothing that was both warm and lightweight. Heavy garments would impede movements, so he opted for materials like wool and reindeer hides, which provided warmth without adding unnecessary weight. This focus on practical, functional clothing allowed the team to navigate the challenging terrain effectively. Here are the various equipment that were used for the journey. This is the sledge he had used, the sleeping bag, shoes, and the goggles, the boat, all are given here. So his 1893 Arctic expedition was based on scientific foundation and navigation strategies. Let us look at what are they. Nansen's expeditions were not only solely about survival, they were also driven by a commitment to scientific exploration. He carefully planned the scientific objective, including meteorological studies and geological assessment to advance knowledge of the Arctic environment. One of Nansen's most innovative strategy was his use of transpolar drift theory. By studying Arctic Ocean currents, he proposed that the team could drift with the ice rather than attempting a direct journey to the North Pole. This strategy minimized energy expenditure and allowed the team to travel with the natural movement of ice, significantly increasing their chance of reaching the pole. So the 1893 to 1896 Fram expeditions. Nansen's Fram expedition highlighted the success of his preparation and strategic planning. The ship Fram entered the pack ice from the eastern part, that is the Siberian side, where it will remain for the duration of the journey drifting with the natural current of the Arctic Ocean as shown in the blue line. During the expedition, Nansen and his colleague Hjalmar Janssen ventured off the ship from here to explore further north, reaching a latitude of 86.13 and 6 seconds north. This is the highest point achieved at that time. Though he could not reach the North Pole, their journey provided valuable data that advanced polar research and deepened understanding of the Arctic.